Okay, so for my presentation, I would like to discuss the platforms that Open World will be available on, as well as the rationale behind why we use those platforms. And then I'd also like to take the time to discuss the tools and resources needed to develop the Open World game. So the platform that my team and I selected are that the game is to be played on the PS3, the Xbox 360, the PC, any Apple iOS device, and any Android enabled devices. Now, the rationale behind why we chose those platforms is that the game is to be played on all systems so that it will increase the number of users. Uh, and then we also wanted the game to get a larger exposure and a greater target market. Another reason for rationale behind why we chose those platforms is that we wanted the users to gain a total interactive experience, whether they were playing it on a console or whether they were using their smart device. So no matter whether you have like an iPhone or an Android device or a PC or a console, you can still play the game no matter what. Uh, One of the concepts that open world is based on is being that it's an open world game. We want the users to have access to the game at any time, anywhere, and on any device. Now that we've discussed some of the platforms and the rationale behind those platforms, I'd like to take a minute to discuss the tools and resources needed for development. So one of the first tools I'd like to discuss is the workstation specifications. So for our workstation, we would need either a PC or a laptop, which would run either the Windows operating system or the Linux operating system. Then it would need to be equipped with at least a dual-core processor running at least 2.5 gigahertz. It also would need 6 gigabytes of RAM and approximately 500 gigabytes of storage space, accompanied with a NVIDIA GTX 550 graphics card to handle the rendering of the video game. Another tool that would be needed during the tool and the resource and development stage of the game would be an integrated development environment. So the IDE that my team and I chose for this project would be Eclipse. One of the benefits of Eclipse is that it's a lightweight open source IDE, which would allow the cost of the workstations to actually be lower, in that some of the higher end production workstations which have licensed software would require a company to pay for those licenses, and therefore it would drive the cost of the workstation up. So by using this open source software, we again keep the initial cost